Hey folks, it's Dougie. I'm going to put together a little video show of my drawings, both past and present, and just to have the stuff out there. And just hold it up to the camera and hopefully it reads it. I'm having a little trouble with the light, so hopefully the things will show up. I used to draw in only pen, flare pen, ballpoint pen, which was very restrictive. I worked at an art shop for a while, and I used the cutout middle area of the the map board, and I would draw on them, which is great for framing because they're sturdy. And I wish I still had those. Frankly, I wish I had those to draw on. Um, I did it as an exercise way back when I had given up drinking for a while and steadied my hand, and then again when I was drinking. And then I just hadn't really drawn for years, and when I did, I normally was with friends or something, and I just gave them away, and there you go. And of course, I've just started up again recently with pencil, which I'm thankful for. My hands, I have neuropathy, not big time, but some neuropathy in my hands. And I have arthritis in my right shoulder from the days of my youth when I used to be rather exuberant. And that can bother me sometimes. And so working in pencil is a lot better. It gives me the freedom to erase and do things again, which I have found necessary plenty, and I'm not wasting paper. I'm getting stuff done. Uh, yeah, look, if you check this out, I really appreciate it. If you don't, I understand. I'm not going to put them out there in any order, save that I'm going to go with the older ones first, the things that I've did in the past. I'm going to have to place them at the camera and sort of talk over them. So I'm just hoping that they show up. And if you watch this, I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you who have dug my stuff and have given me feedback, and just thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy this. Um, yeah, as you know, I draw Richard Harris a lot, and most of these have been posted at some time or another. So I'm not posting new things; I'm just putting them all together. But that's an early Richard Harris. I'm not looking at the years. I'm thinking around 90s sometime. But that's Richard Harris. I like the feel of it. That's still a favorite. And again, as you see, drawing with the pen gives it a great line, which I miss doing. And I have to find some sort of happy in between because I'm just getting my strength back as an artist, if you would. Kind of hesitate to use the word, but there you go. Let's put Harris down. Uh, I'd like to find, I guess I'm going to have to redraw some things to just get a little more confident and use a darker pencil. But, for now I'm doing what I'm doing. This is Richard Burton. It's an odd way to be presenting these two because, of course, this is a mirror effect. So, it's switching sides. But yeah, that's him at his home, and I don't know if you say Seligny. I think that's the way to say it. Gabriel Hirschman will recognize that, and probably Lyndon Jeremiah. But that's Richard Burton, a casual Richard Burton reading. This I just found broken in its frame. That's Custer with his dog. Uh, the body positioning is way off. Well, not positioning, but the dimensions are way off. He's got an arm that goes all the way down to his feet. I like the face. I like the dog. I like the essential drawing. I think I need to do it again and just get the body right because torso and arms are off. But everything else I like, and I like the effect. And that's Custer. This in a frame that's falling apart. The glass is broken. Is Pat Garrett. The actual Pat Garrett. Some of you have commented on my James Coburn drawing from Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid, which I appreciate. This is the actual Garrett, and I did two Garretts backstage at Hamlet. I drew a Coburn as Garrett, which I'll show, and this real life one. You know, I just had the tendency at times, because I had a lot of time off, and I had a lot of rehearsal time. So when I say backstage, I don't think I was waiting to go on. I think I brought some stuff to do. But that's Pat Garrett. A lot of you have seen this on the Chris Christopherson page. That's Chris Christopherson. Yeah, I think it has a nice fluid feel. I like that. That was one of the first I was doing. I was drinking heavily. This was not a sober period. I just discovered Chris Christopherson. The woman who I was in love with dumped me. Went on a massive binge. Was watching the movie Fat City, John Huston, and heard Chris Christopherson, as far as recognizing him as Christopherson for the first time, helped me make it through the night. It's like, oh man, I gotta get into this guy, and went and got Christopherson's greatest hits. Like, oh shit, man, you know, I just spent quite a while drunk. My parents desperately worried about me, and down in the basement, little pad, singing Christopherson. But I got his voice down really good, and I've loved Christopherson ever since. This is General Custer on campaign against the Kiowa. It's based on a Charles Shrivogel painting, so this is not from a photograph, and I was using a painting, so it's not my original pose or anything like that. But I like the drawing. I think it came out well, and that's in pencil, and I think the pencil has a good effect. This is a Davy Crockett, which is one of the few I made up. I used a couple of pictures of one in particular of Congressman Crockett, but I decided that I wanted to give him the coonskin cap and the attire that we associate with Crockett and with the Alamo. So I like it. You know, he's got a friendly air to him. This is, again, pencil. My worry about the pencil is I found some of them that are fading, and I just redid one. I'll talk about it when I show it. And I just saw that I need to, when I say redid, to touch up. But I do like that of Crockett. Yeah. This is Marlon Brando in a fabulous movie called Burn, which for me is my favorite performance of Brando. You can see that this is fading. It had far more detail in its fading. So I'm going to pull it out of its frame, I think, when we're done here, and work on it a bit. I did that backstage at a show at Brewster, Cape Rep Theater. Yeah, but I like it. I like the feel of it. I love that. It's a damn good movie, very unusual, and a fantastic, towering, majestic performance by Brando. This is my man Richard Harris again as Captain Tyreen, with his very painful character death in Major Dundee. Those of you on the Harris page are familiar with this. My most detailed drawing, I was painstaking. It's a little bit busy and a little bit doesn't have a lot of contrast. All the lines are pretty dark, but boy, I think I caught him in the pain in the face, and you can tell it's Harris, and I love the character. Captain Tyreen is one of my movie heroes, a character that I've got drunk watching many, many times, watching Major Dundee. And for me, the personal hero, the ones that I relate to the most of who Harris has played is, of course, King Arthur in Camelot, Captain Tyreen and Major Dundee. And this with some of my character flaws. I'll mention McKenna, 2/3 my name, James McKenna, McParlin, and the Molly Maguires. But I like this drawing. I'm proud of it. This is Wild Bill Hickok, the most famous photo of him. And I like that I used the pen that I use. A heavy kind of felt pen. Couldn't make mistakes. You couldn't make any mistakes with it. But it gives his hair a moisture. He was fond of using the hair tonic like Custer. And I think it came out well, and I like Hickok, and I like drawing him. I'm going to do it again. This is a dark character, Tom Horn, braiding the rope that allegedly was used for his own hanging. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I think he braided one. I don't know that it was actually used. Uh, Very sad story. Many of you know of it. Steve McQueen did a good film with a marvelous performance called Tom Horn, which was the end of McQueen's career. But I think I did a good job there. These pen drawings, with the exception of some of them, like Tyrene and Harris's Tyrene and Major Dundee, these pen drawings are rather spare because of the darkness of the lines. I didn't need to do anything to bring them up because the darkness of the lines brought them up. So I like the spare, and I'm going to try to get back into that. I just, I've got to get a little more confident, and but yeah, Tom Horn. This is the drawing of James Coburn as Pat Garrett right after he's killed Christopherson as the kid, and Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, that I did backstage at Hamlet. This was during a performance. I do remember that now. Invested very, very kind of hurriedly sketched feel, which I think gives it a good feel to it. Yeah, I like this one. I'm rather proud. I'm glad that I laid off the way that I did. I think I was compelled to maybe put more detail in, but I think I had to get ready to go on stage. And so I didn't, and then I looked at it and said, yeah, that works. So anyway, James Coburn is Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. I've had so many enthusiastic comments about this recently. This is the Pancho Villa drawing that I did, and just get it up close and personal. I like it. Scott Hamian was very nice in complimenting the different assortments of lines, and I feel the same way. I kind of wanted to give like a Mexican blanket feel in the background, Navajo blanket sort of a deal. And I like it. Boy, the light is kind of messing up on here, but you gotta do what you gotta do. But I like it. This has to be darkened up. This is a pencil drawing of Paul Newman as Buffalo Bill in Buffalo Bill and the Indians. Boy, does it need to be brought up. I'm going to work on, it's my project. I was going to draw Butch Cassidy, but tonight I'm going to, or today, work on heightening the Brando from Byrne and Paul Newman in this. But I liked the drawing. I liked that I used a lighter pencil because Newman's features are, kind of on the fine side. And I like it, and I love the movie. It's one of the most, it's a favorite movie of mine that is probably the most put down favorite movie of mine that I know of. I used to know a monologue that I did. I combined bits of the monologue from the movie and the bits of parts from the Arthur Kopit play on which the movie is based on, called Indians, and some of my own material. And I have it. And it's all in the screenplay. I had a copy of the screenplay, and I wrote notes in it. And I did it a couple of times as an audition piece. I did it drunkenly, rather hysterically, for my pal Mike Meller. He'll remember that. And I like it. It's actually a damn good speech. So I got to find it and see about learning it again. I mentioned the Molly Maguires, and I think I did my best drawing that I've done since I've been drawing the other day with Richard Harris and Sean Connery and the Molly Maguires. But this is one from quite a while ago with Harris as McParland and the Molly Maguires. And I like that it's very spare. And again, I was using the pen, so I had to be very accurate. I couldn't change anything, so, he might be a little tight in the eye area, but I like it, and it gives attitude, and I like it. This I posted very recently on Christopherson page. Got a lot of feedback, and my Aunt Pat liked it. It was wonderful to hear from Pat. And I like it too. It's got a flow. I was very, 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 very drunk when I drew this. Very drunk. I met who I hope to be a new lady friend at the bar. And yeah, a temporary thing. I drew it for her brother, Christopherson fan, to impress them. And we didn't work out, and saying, oh shit, I got the drawing, so I'm glad I kept it. I have others of those somewhere. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. I had many of them. I used to show them when I first moved to the Cape, and somebody that I knew, I know stole some of the historical based ones, Custer and uh, one of him on the Washita campaign, and one I call the Killer Angel of the most famous Civil War Matthew Brady photograph. They're gone. And I think they were good enough that he probably pawned them. That was when I was at my very best that I drew those. Very, very detailed. I miss them. I have others that I simply can't find. I have others that were given away. I did sell some way back in the day. And then I've done a couple since I've been on the island where it's like, yeah, buy me a bottle of rum and there you go. But I did buy, but I sold them to, I think with one exception, I sold them to people that I knew from the bars. And, buy me a burger and, basically pick up my bar tab and I'll make you a good drawing. So some that I really liked, I did one of Custer death scene against his horse and the bullet wounds. I don't have them. So really why talk about them? But, let you know that I did some more things. For those of you who have been following me, and thank you, trying to find a way to balance this. I'm going to be showing some, the drawings that I've done recently, with the exception of these, which I am going to post individually tonight. Tell you what this is. It's a drawing I did of Hemingway, and I actually did this while I've been living on Oak Island, and I did it for my deceased friend Ed. Found it when I got these things. Actually, well, Ed died. And his sister treated the stuff that I gave him very badly. And I found books and stuff that I had given Ed thrown in a junk heap pile. This was very, very faded. I put it in my storage unit. So I restored it. I worked on it last week. And I brought it up. So it's not quite the same drawing. I like it. I'm going to reframe it. But here's the odd thing. Here's another drawing done at really the same time started. This was the first sketch. I abandoned it. I did the other one for Ed. Then I found this in my sketchbook. And I said, geez, man, I like it. And I went and worked on it. And I actually did that before I redid the original. So I just took this bare bones, and from memory, I don't have the photo. I didn't want to use it. It has a nice sketch feel. And actually, I think this version is better than the other version. But, two Hemingways of the same picture. A Tale of Two Hemingways. Again, anybody who's been watching me knows this stuff, and I'm just going to put it together. This is me as Billy Bones in Treasure Island. I'm very fond of it. I originally started drawing Oliver Reed, was way off. And then I was like, wait a minute, man. All I got to do is change this up a little bit and make it me. I played the same character. And I wore an eye patch. Ollie didn't, but I did. And had a good time doing that show. And I did a little video about it, talking about it. And Ian, you've seen it as my, I just changed it, but it has been my profile page. It will be again down the road. Forgive me while I find a place to put some of these. This is my man, Chris Christopherson. Showed this a while back. This was one of the first drawings that I did once I started again, and I wanted to have it for the Chris Christopherson page. I worked on it the other night. I really did some detail work. I added... It had been very vague, the jacket, the shirt area. I also brought his hairline down and darkened it, and I just brought some features up. I didn't have a lot of confidence when I drew it, and I wanted to have something for the Chris Christopherson page. So I'm glad. I've gone back and worked on most of these since they were posted. So they look a little bit different, and I feel better about them now than when I posted them. I liked them when I posted them, but I think they're better drawings now. This is very spare of somebody I'm going to draw again, but I liked it. This was actually the first. I did a quick sketch of Custer, doo-dah, it's fine. But this is the first one I sat down and was like, I really want to get this right. And because I happen to use the dark pencil, which I'm going to get into the habit of using again, I didn't mess around with it much because I just like the details, the sort of the vagary of it. A hero of mine, going way back from when my grandmother gave me the Disney books, Disney Americana, the story about Tonka, also known as Comanche, Keogh's horse, the sole survivor of the 5 companies, the little bighorn, died with Custer. Really good Disney movie called Tonka that was made of it, and so I really like Keogh a lot in that story, and I will draw him again. This is Pernell Roberts as Adam Cartwright. Wasn't too good when I put it on here originally. Then Wonderful Friends highlighted it. Lisa Cash O'Connor has highlighted a lot of my stuff. I really appreciate it. I worked on this last week. I just heightened things. I darkened him up. He looks a lot more like Adam Cartwright than he did before. This is Richard Burton on the Broadway 1960 production of Camelot. Again, I liked it when I first did it, and people highlighted it for me. This is better. I worked on this. Most of these things I worked on last week, and just heightened. And now it certainly looks more like Burton, and I needed the darkening. Just helped out an awful lot in getting the contrast. So I like it. Now I'm going to use the book. It might be a little more difficult to do, but if you bear with me, that's what we'll do. This is my old pal Ed. I'm using the book. It's going to be a little harder to see. I worked on this the other night. You guys have all seen it. I worked on it the other night. Brought it up. Really worked on refining his features. He was a unusual guy, unusual looking guy, handsome dude. He liked to think of himself as sort of a beach Gandalf. And in some ways that worked. I love you, Ed. I miss you. This is me. I don't know. I mean, you're seeing me now because you can see me. Hey, there's Doug. Yeah. I think when I start using colored pencils, I might do the same thing. But I guess it looks like me. You know, it also looks like U.S. Grant. So if I ever get to the point where it's like, it doesn't look like me, I might just change it, turn it into a U.S. Grant, and add the hat and the cigar, and say, yeah, it's U.S. Grant. And who knows? Maybe I can sell it to a Civil War enthusiast. But in the meantime, it's me. This was a quick sketch. Not my best, admittedly, but I worked on it the other night. I originally did it as Harris the singer, like MacArthur Park. But then I darkened it up, kind of added more of that rugged look, and like thinking of it more as Zachary Bass in Man in the Wilderness, which is a Hugh Glass story of what Leonardo DiCaprio, they sort of reinvented in The Revenant. I prefer this movie. They're both great. I prefer this movie. Harris was spectacular in it. And I think that does look like him in that. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is me. It's like, shit, man, we're getting tired of you. But I worked on this the other night. I darkened it. I brought up the ears before it looked like I was earless. It does look like me, you know, for good, bad, or in between. That's me. That's my mugshot by Doug. This is one of my best that I've done so far. I'm giving it to my wonderful friend Rose Belp. I made a copy, but that's Harris as Tyrene again. And I like, you know, it has flaws, but I think I caught him very well. And what I need to do is really learn what pencil does what. This was a nice pencil choice, and it came out good. I'm pleased with that. This started out as a quick sketch. I didn't think all that much of it. It's gotten great response on the Western pages and the Custer pages. Errol Flynn is Custer. It has Dash. I've worked on it, brought some things up. But, you know, now that I look at it, it's, you know, yeah, I like it. You know, but it's not real specific, but it's, you know, it's good. There you go. This I'm very pleased with and disappointed at the same time. It's Oliver Reed in the wonderful film that not many people know about called Cross Swords, also a.k.a. The Prince and the Pauper. Big international hit. Didn't play well in the United States. It was right after the 3 and 4 Musketeers. Same producers, some of the same people. Wonderful all-star cast. Chuck Heston was in there as Henry VIII. George C. Scott, scene stealing as the king of the beggars. Ernest Borgnine, Raquel Welch, David Hemmings, and Rex Harrison as Norfolk. And young Lester, who played Oliver. Mark Lester, who played Oliver. The only thing I don't like about this is I've got him looking very congenial, which is not Ollie's typical thing. But he did have some congenial moments in there, particularly when he's supposed to be besotted, sitting by the young king. So that's Oliver Reed. He probably was besotted. No, Oliver Reed. Yeah. Warren Zevon, kind of a quick pencil sketch that I worked on again. Not a whole lot of detail, very small picture. I get it closer. But I like it. You know, it looks like, to me, it looks like Warren Zevon. This I like. Talk about besotted. Taras and Jimmy Webb, the MacArthur Park pair. They both look like they were inebriated, and it works because I bet they were. I really don't know much about Jimmy Webb's habits. You know, he spent a lot of time with Harris. I can't see how he wasn't drinking. So it's kind of vague and detailed at the same time. I like it. I like the looks of them. And, so Harris and Webb. This is Custer on the Washita campaign, where he had a heavy beard and wore a big fur hat and a fur coat. And it's a different look. I'm worried about it. I have to take this out and frame it soon because it's getting smudged. I used charcoal pencil in there. It's getting smudged, but I think it's a nice detail work. It's as close to as I've been able to come to that picture that I mentioned that so-called friend stole back in the day. And it's got a nice, I don't know, I like it. It's got a good feel to it. This is Chris Christopherson and Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. A lot of comments on it on the Christopherson page and my page. I like it. I always feel like, you know, I'm missing, and I don't think in my new drawings I've caught Christopherson real well. I think the older ones I did, but it's good. I like it. James Coburn is Pat Garrett. I like it. I took a friend's advice and did a couple things to it, and I think I overdid it. I think I darkened his eyes too much, but it looks like Coburn. It's got a good, you know, I think of Coburn and there is something of the angel of death. And Coburn's performance as Pat Garrett is one of those time capsule Mount Olympus performances. He's magnificent as Garrett. I would have just easily handed him the Oscar, but other great performances into it's time capsule. Plenty is good, but none better performance-wise, and it's a wonderful movie, fantastic movie. Robert Shaw, who I'm reading a very good book about, admire the man very much as the skipper in the Battle of Britain. Very dark. I like it. Perhaps a little bit too dark, but I like it. I'm not going to mess with it. And I like the movie. And I'm going to be doing some more of Shaw. What a wonderful, I think he was a wonderful man. And I'm getting a couple of the books, the novels that he wrote. I need to read them. What a wonderful, thoroughly rounded, rather magnificent man. I admire him greatly. These are my friends, family friends, Jack and Nancy Bradley from Cape Cod, great jazz enthusiast, and Jack founded the Cape Cod Jazz Society. He has, I don't know everything that Jack did. I think he produced, photographed, he knew Louis Armstrong well, Newport Jazz Festival, just a great force of jazz. His wife of Nancy, wonderful person by his side all the way. They're a hell of a pair. Everybody loves them. There's going to be a tribute to Jack at the Cotuit Center for the Performing Arts soon. So I wanted to draw this for them and get it to them so that they could have it for them. And they've been great to my family. Great, great, great supporters of my father. So thank you, Jack and Nancy. Quick drawing of Lee Marvin. Didn't work. Gives a feel. There you go. Took about 10 minutes. I took longer on fixing it later on than I did in the drawing. But it's, you know, it's Marvin. Christopherson and Heaven's Gate. Gee, man. Keep playing with this. Keep changing it. It's just not quite there, but it's good. People seem to like it. Great response. I like it too, but there you go. Christopherson is Jim Averill in Heaven's Gate. Drew this recently. Sean Connery is Malone in The Untouchables. Dig it. A little. It's just a little bit too much like a caricature. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I might do the same drawing down the road. It's like a cast piece, but I do like it. You can tell it's Connery, and you know, there you go. Here's my personal best. This is Harris and Connery as McParlin, McKenna, and Keogh in the Molly Maguires. I think I caught them really, really well, and it looks like they're speaking, which they were. I was more concerned about capturing Connery than I was Harris, and I had a much easier time of capturing Connery. So, you know, I love the movie, love the guys, and I think it's a damn good drawing. My arms are getting tired. I just flew in from Buffalo. Boy, my arm's tired. Pernell Roberts as King Arthur, touring production, 1965. This was in St. Louis. I think I caught him well. I would love to have seen him on stage. Rose and I have been talking. He had a marvelous voice, very good singing voice. I bet he was great. I kind of bet that on stage he was better than Harris. When I saw him, Harris, I love Richard Harris, but he was very tired and not a very good production. I bet this was better. I'm really a big Pernell Roberts fan. Um, that's the last one that's right in the book, thankfully. I mean, I'm kind of hurting, folks. I ain't the brawny guy that I used to be. And all that being sick and shit took it out of me. So, a quick one I did of Harry Nilsson. There you go. Yeah, you know. And that first sketch that I did when I started sketching again, Custer, I just did it real fast, and I just wanted to get in the groove. It's not real good likeness, but you know it's Custer, so it's, you know, it's fine. It was very liked on the Custer page. You know, there you go. That's it. I have other stuff. There's going to be plenty more stuff. Well, I had other stuff. I don't know what I can find in storage. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of MIAs that are going to stay MIAs. I hope that, you know, ones that I gave away and sold, and most of them I gave away, still have a home. That was the idea. I take all the stuff that I do very personally. It all has a story. And I've been up and down and borderline suicidal at many times in my life, and I decided, you know, better to give some stuff away. And I still feel like, you know, my stuff in storage and all. I mean, if I ever get sick or whatnot, I'm looking for people to give my books to. I lost so many things, and family things, and it just bothers me all the time. I don't want to lose any more. But I'm going to be doing a lot of drawing. I have an assignment for a friend of drawing Daryl Hannah and Clan of the Cave Bear. I'm going to draw Butch Cassidy, and I'm going to draw Dad with Tony Bennett. So I have a few things that are already scheduled in my head, and then I'll just keep going. I'm disciplining myself, and just want to cover the whole thing. If anybody can ever, you know, hopefully I'm going to get to the point down the road. Rose has, you know, said this. I want to get to the point where, say I kick or whatever, people are looking at my stuff. It can be like, you know, that Doug, man, from the time that he started producing, it's a lot of time that I didn't, from the time that he started producing, that guy was so well-rounded. Man, he'd hit everything, you know. He did acting. Haven't seen me like, you know, acting, how can you? But, you know, doing dialogue and Shakespeare and speeches, and he could write.